Good afternoon, viewers. I'm greeting from Atlantic TV here in our main studio in Farato. Today, in our business program with my coach Abdoulie Bojang, get into the question. I will give him the floor to greet with the.
Yes, hello. This is your show, Vantage World, with me and of course Samba. And on this show today, we're all happy to discuss whatever that we have on the show from our, journalist Samba.
Thank you, Mr. Bojang. Today, our discussion in Atlantic TV, I would like us to discuss principle, wealth, and management of banking here in business today.
Yes, it's important that when we talk about wealth management, we're talking about a situation where we want to make sure whatever of value in terms of money, in terms of land, in terms of different types of assets are managed. First, we want to make sure we have it, we plan it, we grow it, we protect it, and we distribute it. That's all about wealth management. So it's important for us to make this clear. When we talk about wealth, most people think of it as money, the monetary aspect of wealth. No, the land that you have there is wealth. The mobile phone that you have is wealth. Your knowledge is wealth. Different
because today when we said business, it's contain a lot.
Yes.
So I would like us to talk about first the health, like the one of the accident which have not long ago. How those victims able to help themselves?
Oh yes. For that, let's look at this from the principles of wealth management.
Okay.
You have first, number one principle of wealth management is planning. Okay. You need to plan how you want to manage your wealth, how you want to gather your wealth, or the wealth that you have, how do you grow it. Now, if you plan, you invest. That's the second phase of wealth management, the second principle.
Okay.
And when you invest, you want the investment to grow. Yeah?
Okay.
When you invest, you want it to grow. Not only do you want it to grow, you also want to protect it. And you want to distribute it. Now, regarding the example you quoted comes under what you call protection, as far as the wealth management principles are concerned.
Okay.
Now, for example, you're talking about the issue of insurance.
Okay.
That's part of protection. Now, why do we have to have an insurance policy? It's because we want to protect our wealth. So wealth is basically anything that is valuable, any possession that is valuable, and money is one of the valuable possessions. Now, that is why you go get an insurance by law. Why? Because they want to make sure the car owner has his or her car protected. Also, the passengers are also what? Protected, or third parties.
Okay.
So that in terms of accidents, in terms of unforeseen circumstances, you are able to get the insurance step in so that they will be able to help protect your wealth. In the case of the Gambia, that is very less. Most people have insurance policies and so on, but when it comes to claims and then getting what you want, it's just difficult for you to get what you want. So that is one aspect. But then generally, wealth, you need to plan, you need to invest, you need to grow, you need to protect it, and you need to distribute it. Why do we talk about distribution? We want to make sure the 100,000 that you have, you plan to invest it. You want that 100,000 to grow into 150. Not only would it grow, but if it goes to 150, you want it protected. You want to make sure that 100,000 is protected, right? And when it is protected, you want to make sure at the end of the day, you distribute that 100,000 to a situation where you will not be at the risk of losing that 100,000 because you did not distribute the 100,000, which is also called asset allocation.
But do you think that we are having that in the country here?
Most people do not actually do wealth management.
Oh,
And
oh.
you know, all they do is they have wealth, and then they think doing wealth the way they want to do it. And one of the easiest way for them is getting it to the bank. But that is not the best way. There are many, many other ways. And in our subsequent episodes, we will discuss some of these ways. But that is not the best way, because even the bank that you're taking your money to, they are using your same money to invest. So what is wrong with you investing yourself? The bank will only be a transactional thing. You go there to either send, receive, or put it there for some time or so. Of course, there are many downsides and upsides to this. Okay. But what we are saying is, we need to understand that wealth management is a holistic area of its own. Unfortunately, it doesn't kind of, it's not a very common thing professionally in this country. So in the West, you have even wealth advisors, financial planners, and so on.
But do you think the wealth management is working here in the country? And even when we have it here, and I mean, whether it is benefiting people in the country?
Yeah, people are doing wealth management, Samba, in their own ways. Professionally, you can question that. But people actually have had wealth here, and they were able to grow their 100,000 into a million, and then they are able to protect it, they are able to distribute it. Yes, those things happen. Okay. But it's not a one size fits all. If you have 100,000, there is a way you want it to work for you. Okay. Somebody also has another 50,000. There is a way he wants it to work for him or her. Now, the way you approach it would be different. And at what rate do you want it to grow? Okay. And how do you want to protect it? How do you distribute it? It's different from one individual to the other. Okay. Generally, from a professional perspective, I doubt it is happening here in a holistic manner or approach. But yes, people actually have been, because wealth management in itself has been as old as we were able to acquire our assets and so on. But it's an area that we really need, because if there is proper wealth management or professional wealth management services in the country, it also helps the economy. It helps the ecosystem of our finance. Okay. So that is something that we all need to promote as far as the Gambia is concerned.
Because I think today is the date is the right time to have it in the country, or to
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Because most people are losing their money because they do not have proper wealth management schemes or proper wealth management experts with them, or institutions that are doing that. So I think it's an area of the economy that is yet to be untapped.
Yeah, because sometimes you start seeing people started their business and it started to grow, and at the end of the day or the year, you see the business started to come down.
Yes, and that's right. One of the reasons why that is happening is you don't have entrepreneurial skills that you've learned yourself, or you don't have the opportunity to learn them, or you don't have a proper business mentor or coach. Business is just like a human being.
Okay.
You need to have it as, for example, a pregnancy, then deliver it off. The baby, you have to, do the nanny service to the baby, take care, pamper the baby, okay, feed, and so on. So business actually does that. So what happens is, most people, why their businesses go down, one of the reasons is, if you give 10 kilos for a 10-year or 7-year-old to carry for 2 kilometers, you're going to harm that 10-year-old. So businesses have their life cycle, and you cannot give the business what it cannot take. You cannot make the business buy what it cannot buy. That is one of the factors that affects, and all that boils down to the inadequate or lack that we have as far as financial planning, wealth management, business coaching is concerned, as far as the country is concerned, or our economy is concerned. Yeah. And I think it's an area that both the private sector and the government should look into, to make sure there is enough adequate wealth management opportunities, financial planning opportunities, okay, and then business coaching opportunities, okay, that are free of charge for people to be able to know the basics of business, to be able to use that in their different business models, to make sure their businesses not only grow, okay, but they are protected.
Okay, I will also want us to discuss about what is village banking.
Yes, village banking. So the name is very funny.
Yeah, because if you say
So basically, village banking is also another form of banking.
Yeah,
and it has been around for quite a long time now.
Yeah.
Basically, it's that type of banking where neighbors, community members, or a small group of people, entrepreneurs or people around, can come together, 10, 20, it depends, come together, pull their resources together, and that money that they pull together, let's say 100,000, 200, 500. I'm not saying that is the amount. No, they can even go beyond that.
Like Ususu.
Yes, it's just like Ususu.
Yeah.
Good. Then they come together and they are able to finance their little projects, manage their businesses, or try to give capital to, the businesses that they run and so on. So village banking is very, very integral, especially for those that are in the informal sector or that have traditional barriers to acquisition of loan and access to finance and so on. So village banking is one component that actually would help such individuals within this category, who have difficulty accessing money or finance from banks, big corporations, or there is delay in getting that. So they want quick money and within their community. That is basically what the idea of village banking is.
Okay.
But this Osusu thing, we having it, and different countries have it in different ways. But I think in the case of the Gambia, I think people should move from the issue of coming together and then, okay, we put 10,000, we give it this month to Samba, next month we give it to Amadou, next month we give it to Nima. Okay. We should now have a situation where, okay, you are an entrepreneur, you have, let's say, 100,000 in your account, for example, okay, that you're not touching, that's not part of your operational something or so, and somebody. So I think coming together, such type of entrepreneurs can come together and say, okay, now if we are 10, it means we can pull 1 million in 3 months or in a month. You understand? Now what do? Instead of giving that 1 million to Samba, it's not a bad idea for Samba to reinvest or do something with it. And the next month Samba will also pay another contribution of 100,000 for us to give to another individual. It's not bad. But the problem with it is...
But don't you think sometimes there is controversy?
Yes. That is the downside. Samba will not pay, or Lamin will not pay, or will delay the payment. So if you are supposed to receive
because
money,
at the beginning, everybody will be active.
Yes, but when you get your share, you may not be willing to whatever. Yeah. Now to discourage that, one of the ways that other people are doing it, they now turn village banking into some form of investment banking. Okay. How do they do it? Okay. Now, if we can raise 1 million within 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, as a group of 10 people. Okay. What do? We now say, okay, what is the prime location in Combo? That is not expensive, and then we can get it and even secure the land. And in next 2 years, this can give us this much. Remember, this money is not money that we actually need for now. Instead of leaving it with the bank, you can now say, okay, let's go and buy this meters of land, this plot size of land. And then we want to, let's say, build a guest house, a motel, or you want to create a kind of a sports center. You will have gym, we have a pitch, we have different types so that people can come, a kind of a recreational center. Okay. Or this 1 million, we put it now, we will ask for people who come with good ideas, investment and so on. When we give them 100, they give us 125 in return. Now, that is a much better way, because now everybody would want to be part of it, because remember, your 100,000 is there, this 100,000 is there. But when now we get 1 million and we give it to Samba, when Samba gets it, he's now kind of discouraged to even contribute because he gets his shares. So you see, if you have to give on the 5th these people their money, it may take you up to on the 10th, because people that need to contribute have kind of delayed in contributing their share, or even would not contribute, or some will even move and so on. So there should be regulation, there should be policy around this if you're doing it. But village banking is one way that people can actually get access to finance, and it's much easier because there is less regulation, access is there and so on. But the downside to it is, the disadvantage is, most times continuity is a problem. Yeah. Because if one member decides not to participate, it affects the entire circle.
Yeah, because sometimes some people they are sick, or they lost their life.
All those things happen.
Yeah.
And that is why if the government or individuals, businesses can make it a deliberate policy to make sure village banks are formalized. Formalized in what sense? They will now be governed by certain policy, certain regulation, and then people will operate. Okay. But they will be guided by law. They will be guided by policy, by good practices. So that even if they give you this much amount and you die, there is a way they can get back that money, just like the bank.
Yeah.
Because that is closer to the people, it drives development, it makes people kind of get access to finance easily, and that will help, you know, the turnaround of the production cycle of those that are into business, whatever production.
Yeah, it is also better because sometimes, you know, when you are sick and you are not working, you will not be able to contribute again. And some people will understand, but some also will not understand.
That is why instead of us contributing and giving to one individual, we can all contribute and buy an asset that will increase in value year in, year out. So even if one individual dies or something happens, there is still chance that that asset will keep, you know, appreciating and giving you something. And his family or her family, those that he has left behind, can benefit from it, and it will continue helping the economy. But let's say if we now have 100,000 and then one person decides to not participate, or one person dies or something happens, at the end of the day, that investment would suffer. So to protect it, I think we need to have government coming in with deliberate policies, or private organizations coming and taking this as an opportunity, like to become a wealth management firm to help with village banking and stuff like that.
Okay, thank you. Away from that, I would also want us to discussion of remittance of Gambia diaspora strength.
Yes, the strength of the Gambian diaspora in terms of remittance, you mean?
Yes.
Yes, just the recent release from Central Bank is telling us that the formal channels to which we receive remittance. Remittance actually is anything, either in cash or kind, but actually these people are talking about basically cash, basically, or the value that they have sent of whatever it is, to 775 million US dollars. That's, I think, more than 46 billion Gambian dollars. Right? That's what we get in 2024 alone from Gambians who are not in the Gambia. Let's say Senegal, UK, America, or, you know, outside. This is what. But remittance, I want to make this clear. Remittance is not only about the money, the 10 euro, the 20, the 50 euro. It's even about the expertise, the knowledge. You understand? All that is part of remittance. Now, for me, I think they have a very, very great strength, and that is what informed the fact that they are named or designated as the 8th region of the country. So they are a region of its own, and they are an economy of its own, and I would even want to say they are a government of its own. They have a lot of strengths, but I think the thing should be, what we seem to promote is, if we say 775 or let's say 776 million dollars has come in, not dollars, US dollars, has come into the Gambia from Gambians abroad. Where has that money gone into? From what we saw, it has gone into construction, which is not bad. But we want to make sure there is much that goes into investment into business.
Okay.
Why? If you now take it to construction, let's say you are building your house where you want to sleep. Yes, you're employing people. Yes, it's helping the economy. We understand that, and that is good. But what is wrong with you also coming up with government, take out the bottlenecks and make sure Gambians can invest? Let's say they come up with a TV station. Let's say they come up with, you know, a national theater or a theater, a private theater center. Let's say they come up with road construction projects. Do you understand? That will be monetized. That gives them more leverage and more opportunity for Gambia today and going forward into the future. So do you see, most times you see somebody will tell you, I've been in the UK for 20 years, I've been in America for 30 years. But when he comes, all he can count is, let's say, one house or two, and that is it. And when he comes now, he keeps struggling because the money, the flow, the cash flow that he used to have before is no more. Because what? All he built is not necessarily something that you can turn into money or so. It's a house and that is it.
Something that can benefit.
This is it. But with a lot of investment, you know, it will change. But I also want to encourage them to invest also outside. The Senegalese diaspora, a lot of them own businesses. They don't only send money, but where they are, let's say in New York, they want to open a small shop of their own or run a business or something.
Like outside?
Yes, like outside, not even in the Gambia. Yes, you should invest back into the Gambia, it's fine. But wherever you are also trying to create some little kind of business for you there is important. That gives you a very good geopolitical stance. Let's say if now in New York you have 1,000 Gambians there,
Okay.
and out of 1,000 Gambians you have 100 that have at least good established, good standing businesses. The US government wouldn't want to lose such people. Why? Because they are contributing to the economy, and that gives them some political leverage. That gives them some leverage. You understand what I mean?
Okay.
So this is it. And even if you invest back home and you invest there, if you come here, there's a business for you. If you go there, there's a business for you. So if you are working only, for example, and let's say you are regularized, you have the papers and everything, you thinking to invest there also is not a bad idea. After all, all you need is for your money to work for you. And that gives you a further leverage, because now you are not only an immigrant or a hustler.
But do you think that investing outside will help you to come back to your country?
The point is not you coming back to your country. The point is how much of economic traction do you get back to your country?
Okay.
Now, if you are actually a business in the US, let's say you are a Gambian in the US and you have now got Atlantic TV in the US,
Okay.
don't you think it's easier for you to employ Gambians to go and work for you there, who will in turn send back money here? That's the point.
That's it, I see.
That's the point. So it will now not be you alone who is sending money, but it will now be your company is also creating what job for Gambians who qualify to go to the US.
Okay.
And when they are there, they will not only contribute to the US economy, but they will also contribute to the Gambian economy. So that's the idea. So that's one way of you are able to get people to come to US, for example, where probably the opportunities are better. You're contributing your quota to the economy of US, but you're also contributing significantly. So instead, like if you are sending $100 per month, because you have a business that can even send more than that. So you realize that at the end of the day, there is a lot that you're going to send. But also governments creating, free environment, enabling environment. Because research has shown that what Gambians or diaspora community actually send back to their home countries is like 15% of what they get.
15.
Like in every 100, they only send $15. So even if they get 1 million, they are sending $15, out of, or 15% of the million.
Okay.
So you realize that at the end of the day, if there are, channels, let's say for example, in the Gambia, let's say now we have a ministry or a director that is responsible for diaspora investment. All they do is to study the Gambian market, advise Gambian diaspora on where to invest, what to do, and so on. Make things easy for them. Let's say you are afraid that if you send your money to your uncle, will use it to buy rice or marry a second wife or so. But there is now a government dedicated agency or directorate that you can now send your money to, and they will be able to do the investment based on what you want. For example.
Okay.
You see, it means more Gambians will now be willing to send more money, because it is not for food, but it's for investment for business purposes. And that will help the economy. It will grow the economy significantly. So I think the government should work on, I understand they are working on diaspora bonds and so many other things. These facilities would actually help the Gambian diaspora, to invest, and then for us to tap from their strength, from a business perspective.
Okay. Still, I want us to also discuss very well about the insurance. How can the government help people, those who are getting accident and then staying in the hospital for a while without proper treatment?
All right. I'll give a general idea.
Okay.
I think the Gambia Transport or General Transport Union would actually be able to give us the statistics, the numbers that, okay, we had this much of accidents, this much of claims were processed, this much of claims are pending, this much of claims are not legible. Because you may claim, but you are not entitled to that claim. Okay. You may claim, but it takes time for it to be processed, for you to be able to get what you should get from the insurance company. You may claim, and they said, no, this is going to be pending, or this is in process. This actually is paid. Okay. They will be able to give us those numbers. But from my experience and many other people that I talk to, insurance is like a scam in this country. Because most people will have accidents and then they will not be able to see the insurance company step up, even though they are eligible for benefits and so on. A case in point is, let's look at the Kafuta issue. Come on, we had a situation where people were lying in the hospital. Some will tell you medicine we are buying for ourselves. Some will tell you this. Some will tell you that. We think the insurance companies, especially of that particular car, if it has insurance, because that is also another thing. Some cars don't have insurance,
Okay.
and that is the more reason why police would say, another insurance be. This is one of the reasons. But some actually don't have. But if you have, you should be able to, in such circumstances, you should be able to use the insurance to be able to help you too. And that is the protection aspect of wealth. So your car is wealth for you. You understand? So this is the idea as far as insurance is concerned. But the numbers exactly, we will try to see how we get the transport union president or any representative to come and give us the numbers as far as the insurance claims are concerned, how much are paid, how much are pending, how much are disqualified.
Okay, because if you see the number of accidents we are having in the country, and then we are not hearing any response from the government, is too much.
Yeah, I will not say you are not hearing any response from the government, but I think the government should look into how the insurance industry in the Gambia is operating.
They are not.
Is it actually operating in tandem with international best practice? Is it actually beneficial to car owners? Is it actually beneficial to third-party passengers? How much of insurance cover do we have, and how much actually has received, what percentage has received help from insurance company? I think the government should be able to look into that and regulate better the insurance company. Because insurance is a key component for wealth protection, to be frank with you.
They are not.
But are they effective? That remains to be a question. And what is the government doing about that? I'm not sure. But we encourage that the government should look into some of these industries.
They are not.
That way we can protect wealth. Yeah, I also want to believe I've not seen anything
they are not
tangible from the government regarding insurance policy and so on in the Gambia.
Yeah, they are not, because we don't see and we don't hear anything from them.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, I guess that's what that does it for today's business forum. I would like you to give your final question before we leave.
Yes, thank you for giving me the platform, and I hope everybody has learned one or two things from the show. We encourage that many media houses actually also look into wealth management TV shows or business shows, because it's also very important. It's another sector of the economy that really, you know, if people understand how they go about their 10,000, how they go about their 50,000, and what they should do, and these things also would influence government policies and private sectors to also come in and that. So absolutely amazing to be on the show. Thank you.
All right, thank you. That was Abdoulie Bojang and me, Samba Jobe, today in Business Forum. Thank you for listening or watching.